The Philippines is an archipelagic country vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. It is located in a region near the equator which is known as the typhoon belt. In this region, typhoons and hurricanes are usually formed. The Philippines' location makes this country one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world. It is hit by an average of 20 typhoons every year, and 5 typhoons are destructive. These typhoons often destroy properties, cause flooding and landslides, and take the lives of many people. As the years go by, the intensity of the storms hitting the Philippines are becoming much stronger, and climate change plays an important role in this. The country sits in the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is a region where the earthquakes and volcanic eruptions typically occur. The country is also in between the major tectonic plates of the earth. Because of this, the Philippines is vulnerable to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and is highly susceptible to tsunamis, sea level rise, storm surges, landslides, floods, flash floods, and droughts. From 2000 to 2019, the Philippines experienced a total of 304 disasters, which range from geophysical, hydrological, and meteorological events, according to a report of the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. For the past years in Caraga region, particularly the province of Surigao del Sur, including the 3 municipalities where CERD works, has been exposed to different climate or weather-related hazards, such as strong typhoons, unusual heavy rainfall, and prolonged precipitations, causing flooding, El Niño or dry climate conditions, and sea level rise. Climate change undermines the development initiatives and exacerbates the vulnerability of the poorer coastal communities where CERD works.
Ang epekto sa climate change sa mga tao nga natabangan sa CERD, dako na kaayo tungod kay ang mananagat sa pagkakaron dili na sila moadto sa lawod kung tinglinaw, kay mahadlok na sila nga maabtan sa unos. Tungod kay sa pagkakaron dili na gayud masabtan ang kahimtang sa panahon.
Sa akong kaagi, maayo na ito ang dagan, kaya nagtanong may ugoso, maayo ang tubo. Unya, sa akong tanaw, sa kada punuan, mutimbang itog 5 kilos, dako na gud unta itong kuan og maharbis, galing kay naabdan og Pablo, naguba ang tanan, wa na gud.
The Philippines has adequate fisheries and environmental laws to address climate change. These laws, however, are not well understood by the local government officials and therefore fall short of being fully implemented. Thus, CERD strengthens and organizes fisheries organizations for them to be able to contribute to fisheries development and the implementation of environmental laws that addresses climate change. Fisheries organizations have been active in promoting sustainable development and in addressing local climate change issues. Aside from strengthening fisheries organizations, the work of CERD is focused on the following: protection of the coastal and marine ecosystems through mangrove protection and rehabilitation, establishments and maintenance of marine protected areas like coral reefs, seagrass ecosystems, or fish sanctuaries, and supporting women to lead in managing protected ecosystems like mangroves and marine protected areas. These endeavors need the support of the local governments and the fisheries organizations to sustain these initiatives, which are seen to also address climate change. CERD contributes to the implementation of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change laws through building the capacities of the local communities for them to be able to lobby and continually advocate the implementation of these laws, to reduce risk and damages to life, livelihoods, and ecosystems in all coastal barangays. High awareness of the people on the effects of disaster and climate change have resulted to community resiliency of the coastal people with 0 casualties and less damages to their livelihoods. CERD conduct capacity building on climate change adaptive livelihood technologies and opportunities for both marine and land-based livelihoods, and this includes the promotion of the use of diversified and integrated organic farming systems. CERD provide capital and inputs to fishers, seaweed farmers, and adopters of climate-adaptive livelihood technologies and other opportunities, and partnership with the local government units to sustain disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation measures.